We just got us some huge news when it come to the rest of the year for PSO2 New Genesis, and we did recently just get a breakdown of the roadmap leading into next year, and lucky enough, we also had a headline stream plus last night, and we got any more information from Gwiz as far as what will be coming in the rest of the year for version 2 here. So today we're going to go over everything you need to know from the mission path that's been given, as well as some information that came from the headline stream plus last night. And of course, before we hop into this, welcome back to your #1 top for PSO New Genesis gameplay how-tos, and of course...
Wait, Maconn. You came on autoplay, Maconn. Your stream came on autoplay. Did you hear yourself just then? Maconn, your stream came on autoplay, so you may have heard yourself just then. Whoops. Hey, Maconn, you made an appearance on the channel. There you go. Hey. Oh, boy.
And I do want to give a very special thank you before we jump into it to everybody that is supporting over on patreon.com/Maconn, subscribing over on twitch.tv/troymaconn, or hitting that wonderful membership button here on YouTube. Thank you, my dudes, and a giant thank you to a core 1K for supporting the Luna tier. And with that, let's go ahead, let's jump into this, and let's discuss everything that is coming in the rest of the year for PSO2 New Genesis. So to start off here, let's go ahead and talk about what happened during the headline stream plus last night. Gwiz was breaking down some of the stuff about, of course, what is coming in the roadmap.
Just like with the roadmap from the first half of this year, or the roadmap from previous, I just want y'all to remember that, you know, this isn't everything. The way NGS has been giving its information out is you look to headline each month for an expectation of what's coming that month. This is going to give you a little bit of insight, but it's not the full picture. I just wanted to point that out and remind y'all. That's all.
But nonetheless, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. The actual mission path we know for a fact as of now is for the rest of the year. So to start off, we do have a court July coming here in literally just a few days, and we did get a pretty big breakdown of course, the PSO2 11th anniversary event that will be happening. And not only is Lollipins coming back into PSO2 New Genesis, but we also got a whole bunch of items returning from the base game, as well as some stuff that is technically still available through, like the casino will be coming in as NGS backed up coming. And so, this is great and all. We got some stamps, we got a whole bunch of stuff. You know, the normal routine here said that will be tied to a seasonal event. So, I hope you're ready to farm more season points to get your hands on that stuff. So, nothing too surprising. But if you are a fan of some of the cosmetic from around roughly episode 4, that might be something that might interest you. And of course, outside of that, we are going to be getting 3 limited time quests coming in as well here, and of course 2 of these are going to be kind of interesting because they are gonna be pretty much a giant game show Q&A where you're gonna be answering questions as a small group about PSO as a whole, from NPC to lore. We will see how exactly they're going to flesh out. Is it going to be one of them cases of the questions always the same? How replayable is this? And, you know, is the rewards any worth it? We have no idea. But we do got something decent coming in from 2 of the upcoming limited time tasks, which is good because it's nice to see, especially coming out of the Sonic event, that they are starting to do more interesting things with the limited time, but sadly not completely, because one of the 3 will be, from the way it seems, to be a pretty normal limited time quest that we have seen previously, such as running through an area, killing mobs and whatnot. Hopefully there's more to that, but if there is, the trailer kind of didn't do a good job showing that off. And then of course we have our brand new Origin quest coming in as well. This is something that I originally called going back to the release of, I believe it was Chapter 5, if I remember correctly, numbers here. But nonetheless, the last big update, which would tie to Lucille and, of course, the big bad of the series, or will be big bad, I guess. But nonetheless, if you have taken part in that little small update, you will know the final boss of that update was honestly kind of awesome. And then we now have it verified that that fight indeed going to be coming a origin quest in July as well, which is not surprising. I pretty much stated that as soon as we did that quest, because there's a lot to that boss battle mechanically, and if it didn't get turned into an origin quest, I was going to be sad. So it looked like that's not the case. We are getting it, so that is fantastic. And that is pretty much what is coming in July. So moving into August and September, we do, of course, have a little more interesting stuff happening. We got our 4 standing multiple party quests here. And, of course, the quests is all going to be tied to pretty much being able to do it at any point here with a group of people. And we will see exactly how in-depth they get, because we are going to be getting a couple of these going forward here. But from there, we do have the ultra hard difficult standing party quests, and that one is once again a not a good job of pointing what this is offhand. So we do have a brand new quest coming in where we're gonna be fighting the solid version of Dark Falls, and once again the trailer was really bad as far as showing off that quest, since it pretty much looked like if Dark Falls now drop item we have to kill, and maybe a little bit of platforming to maybe destroy like health regen or knock down shield. It honestly doesn't seem that in-depth from the trailer. Hopefully there is more to it, and supposedly it's supposed to be a super hard quest, which I imagine, since they were talking about doubting most people beat it on the 4th try, probably because there's going to be a couple things warning, such as the items that seem to be you have to break. But nonetheless, that will be coming as well. That, once again, will be also a standing quest, so that one will be a quest that you can do at any point with your party. And from there, we are also getting 6 limited time quests here. So I'm not for sure how they're going to bring out 6 of these in roughly a month or 2. Maybe a 3 each, maybe that's how they're going to break down. But nonetheless, we have no idea what the limited time tasks are, or quests, I mean, or beyond. Of course, we just getting them. And from there, we are also getting the second part of Chapter 6. And we have a little bit of a foreshadowing happening to a new character. And we will also have that happening in October. So I'm just going to go ahead and date here. The way I foresee it happening with Chapter 6, Part 2, into, of course, what we would talk about for October, is probably just going to be character tied back to Lucille. That'd be my guess here. But we do have a silhouette of what they look like. And other than probably being just that, no real insight as far as where the story going to go. As well as all we know here, the story could be something as simple as an intro and outro to the new Dark Falls. Once again, we will have to wait and see on that one. But from there, we move into some crater bases for August and September. And we are finally going to be getting our Alliance bases coming in here. And I'm very curious to see how they're going to operate. Because right now, with, you know, the normal crater bases and your own personal housing and stuff, is you can already have up to, I believe it's 12 people to do custom stuff around the map, add building, houses, whatever. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to actually separate that for Alliance. Maybe we're going to bring back some trophy stuff. Maybe we're going to bring back some themes to what our island look like. I have no idea here, because once again, they didn't show anything about it. But nonetheless, Alliance bases are coming. And speaking of the possibility of themes, we do have, of course, the retain bait terrain. So this is under crater bases, so maybe we can make our island look like we in retain and not Alio. Maybe that is where we are going with this. Possibility, so which wouldn't be unheard of, since in Bait PSO we did have different themes to our Alliance bases. So maybe that what this is, just to change the bare minimum of the way it look, at least from like a background setting. And of course, from there, we are going to be getting some new building items as well, which probably will be very much item tied to like retain, I imagine, here. So brand new parts coming in in August and September for that, as well as our crossover event. The crossover events are actually going to be interesting because starting pretty much from August to the end of the year, we're going to be getting our hands on a whole bunch of crossover with anime. And lucky enough, we did get an announcement of what we're going to be getting out of the gate for August and September, which is called Uncle from Another War, which is a isekai anime that ended up airing last year. And this is another thing I actually called back when they first started announcing anime crossover. What was that, like 6-7 months ago now? I said it'd probably be an anime that will happen, because if you have no idea of what Uncle is, it's pretty much a love letter to Sega, PSO, and pretty much everything evolving around like Sega as a whole. So it's not surprising that it will be a crossover with the game itself. And honestly, I'm kind of excited for that one, because it might be a chance for a whole bunch of old like Sega Genesis, Dreamcast mags, and a couple other things to come back into print. For anyone that might have missed out on that during the original PSO2 one in the global side, as well as, you know, the stuff that we obviously never got. So that might be a very good opportunity to get our hands on that stuff again. So that will be happening once again in August and September. So let's go ahead and move into October and November here. So to start off here, we do, of course, have another foreshadowing of another character tied to a chapter set part 3. Still stand by what I said in August and September. That could be a beginning intro to the boss. We will have to wait and see on that. But as far as the content we're going to be getting for quests, we do have a new high rank coming to attain, which is probably tied to, of course, Ano, and of course the place in the mountain that I can never remember the name of, is going to be getting some new ranks, which is not surprising, because right now all the new rank for level 70 to 75 is in Alio, so it looks like that will be happening as well for Retain. My bigger curiosity here, since it's not listed here, is are we going to get a level increase? More than likely not, since it wasn't listed, but it'd be nice if we did. At the same time, the battle sector rank, well, there is something good in them for drop weights. I don't see much of a reason beyond just having them to have them for, I get future people who might be leveling, since I imagine by the time it comes out in October/November, mostly everybody will probably be already level 75, if not on every craft by then. But hey, more options and more stuff to do it always great here, so that will be coming for Retain, as well as a brand new dual quest that will be coming as well here. And then we have a brand new origin quest. And in return, we kind of got a little bit of a foreshadowing of what looked like to be another boss. It is tied to the dual quest, it is tied to the origin quest. I'm not for sure which, but nonetheless, there seemed to be a silhouette of a new monster that will probably more likely be the starlit version of the worm. That's what it kind of looked like anyway. So that will be coming in as well. And on top of that, 4 new limited time quests as well. Once again, no information on what them quests are going to be beyond being limited time quests. But from there, let's go ahead and get back into Crater Faces. And we have Alliance Fate Enhance. I am super curious of how they enhancing it, especially as something that only going to be about 2-ish months out from the original release of Alliance Faces. So once again, no ideals, and we haven't seen anything for Alliance Fate beyond just knowing it existing. So we will see what that turns into, as well a new building part for that. And then we move into our crossover here with a sci-fi anime and sci-fi toys. And of course, that one, I actually ended up reaching out to Gwiz to see about getting a response on maybe, could it be Gundam? And yeah, I would just let the quick play and you can see how this actually worked out, because it was from the headline Plot Dream.
Maconn. Don't assume. Don't set yourself up for disappointment now. Just temper your expectations at least a little bit. That's all I'm saying. You know, but I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I'm just saying.
We'll also be adding a number
just
of
wait
new build
and see.
parts.
All will be revealed in good time.
So as you can see, Gwiz it being Gwiz here, and I honestly started thinking, as if let's say the whole Gwiz reputation thing not ending up being Gundam, what other franchise we got here that could pick up the pace? I know Macross be fantastic. Honestly, I would be more excited for Macross than Gundam, to be real here. But with that being said, I don't know how that will exactly work on the global side, since if you know the whole thing with Macross and Robotech, that a whole thing outside of Japan. So I'm not 100% sure that legal issues ever got worked out, so I don't know how that will actually operate, especially from the global side. But nonetheless, that'd be awesome if we did get Macross / Robotech. But who knows? Maybe it could easily just be Transformers, or it might be some other toy line / anime mecha sci-fi series that we just had no idea about, because I'm out of the loop over here in the West as far as what hip with the kids in Japan. But nonetheless, there was some insight. I'm hoping for Gundam. I'm wishing for Macross, but once again, take as you will from Gwiz on that statement about that. But nonetheless, I am excited to see what it is, either way it goes. And then, of course, from there, we do have, of course, December being our last update for the year here. This one, we got also a couple more quest type coming in with a new ultra hard difficult standing party quest, just like the Dark Fall quest. That will be a quest we can do at any point, as long as they don't change their mind on that statement by the time they come out. And of course, there will be a party quest, and maybe a kind of foreshadowing with another silhouette of a monster. Maybe that what this is for here is what we're going to be fighting. Or it could be tied to the dual quest, since we are getting another dual quest coming in here, as well as a one limited time quest with Chapter 6 Part 4 of the new story coming in. So right out of the gate, you can always see December is going to be a little bit of a slower month here, which is not surprising since it is the end of the year. And of course, from there, we also got our crossover coming in with a core action anime as our T. Let me know in the comment what you think some of the crossover going to be, since I imagine action is more likely probably going to be maybe something shonen related, maybe 1P. I know a lot of people want Demon Slayer or Bleach, so we will have to wait and see on that in December. But with that, that is pretty much our roadmap. Once again, keep in mind, some stuff is not listed here and may or may not be delayed. This can always change. And of course, I will keep you guys up to date as we get more and more information, and we continue getting closer and closer to the end of the year, and as well as the release for this stuff. But with that being said, if you have found that video helpful in any way, shape, or form, make sure to do the thumbs up and subscribe, because that helps out so very much to keep up with our daily PSO2 videos here on the channel. And of course, with that's gonna go ahead and do it for me. And of course, I will go ahead and see you in the comments.
But Toy Chan, you gotta go to Maconn's channel for that.